Hey everyone, this is pretty exciting to see. Look what the logging company did. They spread down, it looks like 3-inch gravel, very rugged stuff. It's able to put up with water going over the road without being too eroded. The thing is, the edge of the road there is dirt, and underneath this is dirt, so if the water does go over it, it will wash out, but hopefully the grass grows and holds the ground together before then. There's an actual bridge. This is fantastic. There was a large 36-inch culvert here made out of plastic. It wasn't collapsed. The end was severely mangled from excavators hitting it, and yeah, it's exciting to see a bridge. I see a gigantic beaver lodge I kind of want to get out and look at. There's the old culvert pipe, the big 36-inch pipe. I remember I got a few comments saying I was lying. That's not a 36-inch pipe. Well, it is. We're going to go take a look at that thing. It's not really damaged much at all, but we're going to go take a look at that. They're doing a lot of road work here. We're going to drive along this road a little bit. I'm going to show you. And look, they even really opened up my overgrown parking space I'm usually parked at. Look at this. Yeah, let's get out. We got to go look at this. This is fascinating. We've unclogged this one before. We've also, unfortunately, been defeated at this one, too. Look, big, fresh moose tracks. It's very humid and muggy out today. Yep, today is the June 18th, 2024. It's a hot one. Tomorrow's going to be even hotter. We're supposed to have a heat wave here in Maine. Temperatures in the 90s. Most of the country has a heat wave. Some places are even 120 degrees. Pretty hot, but we only got a couple days of it, and it should be back to seasonable by the end of the week. So yeah, take a look at this pipe. I am 6 feet 1 inch, and this pipe is, look at that, right up to my belt. And that's a 3-foot pipe. I got a couple comments saying I was lying, but they only thought it was a smaller pipe because you couldn't really see it until I really started opening it. I don't even know if you could even tell because part of it was mangled. I don't see the mangled part wherever that might be. I wonder if they'll, ouch! Get off me! I just shook my arm so fast and it was still holding on. Deer flies are horrible this year. I've never really had a problem with them. I've always hated horse flies, but these things are a lot worse. They don't hurt as bad as a horse fly, but they never show up in singles. They're always a massive group of them following you around. They're going to keep landing on me. I got to keep moving. So look, there's actually a bridge. The moose have been checking it out. There's lots of moose tracks here. They came down here at the excavator, removed all the debris. That's probably all the debris and junk we've unclogged over the years. We got defeated at this one because we found the pipe one time many feet underwater, and it probably would have been too dangerous to open it up. And it would have been a huge challenge even getting down to it. You don't see bridges like this too often in the logging company anymore. Usually there's metal I-beams. This is just a bunch of wooden timbers. This is how they used to build a lot of them back in the day. You don't see too many of them now. Got some bolts, really long bolts going through the entire thing, holding every single timber together. Now, beavers, if they probably will someday come back. A new family will find this, even though they hunted off or relocated these ones. A new family will someday find it, and that's a very small bridge. They will eventually clog it up, but this is a much better solution than a culvert pipe. And it would cross the road there. That's why they put this good gravel, I'm assuming, because they know it'll probably happen again. But they raised the road a lot, so if it does flood again, it'll likely flood down there where the gravel ends or back there where I parked. And now that the road's higher, it means they have an opportunity to flood it more. And I think it's probably going to happen someday. Another beaver will find it. And this is really cool what I'm able to show you guys. More moose tracks. I see a bunch of tadpoles. And this was drained, I gotta say, at least a couple months ago, because this grass would be dead if it was flooded recently. This is aquatic, semi-aquatic grass. It cannot survive under the water. It can survive with a little bit of water through it, but not under. More moose tracks. Here's the big beaver lodge. Huge. It's right up to the top of my head. It's about a 6-foot tall lodge. There's the entrances. That might be 2 entrances. A lodge this big probably has more. Looks like a third one underneath here. They always have multiple exits. In case of predators, they'll go out the other side. They're very strong, the dome of a beaver lodge. You can get up on top of them. They're very heavy duty, very thick dome of sticks. There's another entrance. Might be another one. Look at all this debris. There's so much to build with. Look at all these trees. This is their favorite, whatever kind of tree this is. And I'm not sure what it is. They love the bark of this. It's also very soft wood, easy to cut down. See, they strip off all the bark. They eat it. That's their main food source, tree bark. And so what this tells me is, you see all the larger mature trees are dead. This was flooded probably 10 years ago or so. They were trapped or hunted. Then maybe 5, 8 years later, a new family of beavers found it. In that 5 or 8 years, all these little trees started growing back in, which they love. They have a lot of food, a lot of dam building material. It's everywhere. This is prime real estate for another beaver to move in eventually again. So, everyone, what exactly is this? You see all this giant pile of sticks? This was not an extensive expansion of their lodge. It was not an extravagant addition. This is their pantry. Back when this water was flooded, I can tell it was probably about right here. They would live up in the dome. They'd have a dry spot inside there when they swim up inside it. And this was all underwater. In the winter time when the pond freezes over, beavers will, I've seen it on trail cameras, they will leave the pond. But typically they will not leave in the winter. They'll stay underwater. They'll swim out into the freezing water, grab a couple sticks, bring it back up in the lodge, chew the bark off. And when they're done with it, they put it back out under the ice somewhere, and then they keep on going. This is their reserve. They cut down a bunch of trees so they could eat the bark without ever leaving the pond. They just go underneath the ice, and all this stuff is probably anchored down so it wouldn't be floating up inside the ice. Yep, this is their pantry. And then all the stuff they leave outside. That's why during the spring thaw, when the ice first melts, you find sticks with the bark removed, floating everywhere. Then as soon as the surface of the pond is defrosted, they start making dams with all that stuff floating around that they ate over the winter. So that's a beaver system. This is their pantry. And the bark's not removed off any of it. They never got to eat this before relocation. It's huge. This is a lot. This really is a lot. It's one of the biggest pantries I've ever seen a beaver have, and this is a perfect example of it. So beavers are very vulnerable when you drain their pond. Now anything, a little fox, and a bunch of predators. A fisher cat could easily go in there, kill and eat the beavers. And yeah, that's why it's not really the right thing to do morally, draining a beaver pond during the colder months. Because if you drain a beaver pond when there's a surface of ice, it lowers down on top of their food supply, trapping it. They can't reflood the area. Predators will get them. The cold will not kill them, though. They can handle that. But predators will get them. That's why we don't drain primary beaver ponds in the winter, just secondary ones. Beavers always usually have more than one pond. This is their primary pond because the lodge is here. But sometimes beavers are territorial, sometimes they're not. there can be a bunch of ponds that beavers share with multiple lodges. I've seen it, but then there's others that are territorial. Also, beavers, if there's muskrats in the area, they'll welcome the muskrats to live in their lodge with them. They help repair and build dams. They live in the same lodge, share the same food. But a beaver can't live in their lodge. Muskrat lodges are sometimes as small as these rocks. They're a small creature. They usually build lodges out of little twigs and grass. They're very weak. You can't stand on top of a muskrat lodge. But they'll live in a beaver lodge right alongside them. I even have trail camera footage. We unclog a culvert. We put a trail camera inside the culvert. We've seen muskrats and beavers working together. Got some kind of fish down there. Yep, they work together sometimes. This was a really cool pantry to see. I liked it. I'm gonna wash off my boots a little, sir. Ooh, look at this. Look at that. A huge school of fish. There's hundreds of them there. Cool. Beavers don't eat fish, not at all. 100% plants, mainly bark. This was cool to see. I want to show some more of this road. This was exciting to see a bridge here. I expected to come down here to a big clog that there was back in the spring. And I was going to try to give it another go because I just said we couldn't do it. Just washing the mud off my boots before I step back in the truck. All right, everyone, let's get back on the road. Some real big gravel. It's very dusty out now that the weather's getting warmer and drier. Thankfully, there's not many vehicles this far out. Here we go. Ba-boom, ba-boom. I just really wanted to show that cool road down there, so the rest of this is going to be more of a vlog style video. Maybe we'll stop at a few very neglected pipes. So right here, that drainage ditch to the left, that's very weak. It's not very deep. That's gonna fill in fast over the years. But right here, there's a culvert. It's a metal one. And it still looks okay. It's just a little bent. It looks like they're gonna replace it with that piece of garbage over there. I call it a piece of garbage, and you'll see why. There's a couple that they've replaced in the past month that are already crushed. Butterflies in the road. They're eating minerals in the mud. You always see butterflies on top of muddy areas because of minerals, or on top of a poop in the middle of the road because of minerals. You see they graded pretty far over. They're going to try to make this 2 lanes again so they can start sending log trucks down here again. This area somewhere is about to be logged. That's why they're fixing this section of road, because this is an offshoot of the main road. but it is a permanent road, so it doesn't make any sense why they're using plastic. Oh, here's one of the pipes. Yep, that one's crushed. I'm kind of surprised they don't have a new pipe there ready to go in. But the metal ones just don't crush. When you have a muddy road, I don't know why they think plastic are the way to go. They're never the way to go. This road's actually very smooth. This road was horrible when I took it 2 months ago. This road here typically will fall apart very quickly when it rains a lot or when it's dry a lot, because it's very sandy, very soily, not a lot of rocks. Here's another culvert that's gonna go in somewhere. Where though? I think they might be adding one, unless it's just that far gone. I don't even see an existing one there. But this road, if it rains, it turns to muck very, very easily. Potholes form very, very easily with the lack of rocks in the road, with the lack of stone in the road. And if it's very dry out, it turns into like beach sand. When you sink into it, it becomes very, very dusty. Once again, I'm not even seeing a culvert right there. No. Not seeing one. Yeah, see right here is very sandy. A lot of the ruts are sand ruts. They're not from rain. It wasn't muddy when these ruts were created. You just make ruts in some of these areas because it's so loose. Gotta stay hydrated, it's hot out. Yeah, like right here, this was mud. This one was mud. Super, super deep ruts right above a plastic culvert. And that's a sign of trouble. That's going to be crushed very soon. At least put some shale rock or some kind of stone over that to help the culvert last a couple years at least, until you're done logging. A lot of companies do that. They'll put a little bit of gravel over the top, and that goes a long way. At least the pipe will last a couple of years instead of a few weeks. Because they will be using the 200,000-pound log trucks on this road pretty soon. There's another culvert. That's a metal one. They'll probably replace that one too. But it looks like it's still functioning. It's just a little bit bent on the end from frost heaving. This road's incredibly smooth. An area up here right next to a gravel pit. The road is so sandy in the summertime that it's very easy to get stuck with only two-wheel drive. We're coming up to that in just a moment. Here's a culvert. That one's a metal one, still functioning all right. This section of road really turns into like beach sand. Very easy to spin out once it starts drying out in the summer. Right around here. Very, very sandy area. And I hope today's video was interesting, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.